Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the How to Build series where we're going through every single champion in the game, and I'm putting together a quick reference guide for newer players that just need a little guidance with a particular champ that they may wonder, if they're any good or how to build them and how to use them. So I won't be getting into masteries and later game stuff. This is just to give newer players with less experience a little bit of guidance on a particular champ. So let's go ahead and jump into it with Slayer. He is an attack champ in the Barbarian faction. He has decent base HP for an attack champ. Nice base attack, pretty standard. Low defense, not important. Speed is on the low side, but we'll take a look at his kit and see what we think about that afterwards. And I do like his skin. I think his skin is actually really cool. I think he's a pretty cool looking barb. So let's see what he's got going on here. Attacks one enemy. 30% chance of placing a 25% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Okay, and skilled up, that becomes a 50% chance. Now, a first turn attack break is actually a pretty nice thing to have because, especially in places where there's bosses, so campaign levels with bosses, all the dungeons, all the forest keeps, things of that nature, attack break is really nice because a lot of them are notorious for hitting really hard. I'm sure you've noticed if you've spent any time in the dungeons, they do a pretty substantial amount of damage to your team, and generally it's AoE. So if you can put an attack break on them, it gets a lot easier. It gets a lot easier to tank it out and get through that fight comfortably. So someone with a first turn attack break brings a lot of utility to that. And even the clan boss, something I figured out recently is I incorporated a first turn attack breaker into my clan boss team, and my damage went up about 1,000,000 a key because of it. So I sacrificed someone who was doing damage for an attack break, which seems counterintuitive, but what it does is it makes the fight go longer, which allows the rest of my team to do more damage. So it actually does help. So I would say early game, this dude automatically, because of the skill, he's got utility in dungeon runs, he's got utility in campaign, and he's got utility in clan boss, because again the attack break is going to make it really easy to survive, especially earlier on the easy clan boss. And I mean it's useful in all of them, don't get me wrong, but I think you'll notice a big difference if you start putting an attack break on the clan boss if you have not been doing so already. So great little skill, great start to his kit so far. Second skill is fairly standard. It's an AoE, skilled up, it's down to 3 turns. That's not bad. There's nothing fancy, nothing special about it, but AoE is always nice. It'll help you wave clear in the campaign and dungeons a little faster. If you just don't have any other options, he would be decent in earlier spiders. You know, that 1 AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. He might be able to cycle that through enough to be useful, depending on the support you have with him. So, of course, there's better options, but if you don't have many AoE attackers and you want to farm some early game spiders, you've got a champ if you've got Slayer, because he's got the AoE, and then again he's got the first turn attack break, which is going to make the spider weaker, so you'll be able to stick around longer. So I'm digging him so far. So far, so good. Third skill, attacks one enemy, places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Okay, so back to the clan boss thing. If you can bring poisons into clan boss, your damage is going to skyrocket if you are not doing so already. So earlier in the game, a lot of new players think they just need to take their attackers in and hit him as hard as they can. And one of the big things about clan boss is bringing in poisons and HP burns and things of that nature. So not only will he bring in the attack break to make your team survive longer, he's also going to be dropping a 5% poison, which is the stronger poison. There's 2.5 and 5%. He's dropping a 5% for 2 turns, and this can get down to a 4-turn cooldown. So he's bringing some decent utility to the clan boss fight, and honestly, he's bringing it for a while, because the attack break paired with the 5% poison is nice. That's a lot of utility to bring to clan boss. So I honestly wasn't expecting him to be that good for clan boss, but yeah. So he's got a lot of utility in clan boss. He would be really good in campaign. The stuns would come in clutch on the waves, as well as the poison is nice. He's got the AoE to wave clear, and then the first turn attack break to make the enemies weaker. So there's really not a flaw. There's really not a problem with his kit. Everything he does contributes in some way, wherever you take him. So maybe everywhere except Fire Knight, he would be useful. So, let's talk about how to gear him. We've talked about where to use him. Let's talk about how to gear him. So one thing we definitely want to have on him is accuracy. We want him landing these debuffs because these debuffs are what make him so good. So definitely an accuracy set. We definitely want to get an accuracy set in the mix. And then if you want to try to get him doing some damage, just run him like an attacker from there on out. So you could go like attack set, crit rate set, accuracy set. You could also go, you could even squeeze in double accuracy because again, these debuffs are going to be important. So you could go attack, double accuracy. Generally, I say don't worry about crit rate early in the game. So you could go double accuracy attack or double attack accuracy. You could throw in a speed set if you want to bump that speed up a little bit. But what I would say if you're super early on in the game is probably go some combination of attack and accuracy sets with a speed set if you've got some nice gear. And then on the gloves, I think you want to be looking for attack percentage. On the armor, you want to be looking for attack percentage. And then on the boots, you want to be looking for speed. Now, if you want to build them exclusively for clan boss, then you can switch that up a little bit and make him tanky. So put him on gear that's going to keep him alive and also accuracy. Accuracy no matter what. But because again, for clan boss, the actual hitting is not really where a lot of the damage is coming from earlier in the game. Later, as you get better gear and you work down some masteries, it becomes a bigger deal. But for now, the poison is where his damage is going to be coming from. So if you only want to use him in clan boss, I would probably do accuracy gear and HP gear and just shoot his survivability up a little bit, still get him really accurate, and get him as speedy as you can get him. So then it would be HP percentage on the gloves and armor and still speed on the boots. But those are the ways that I would build him depending on how you want to use him. I think he's actually a great champ. I was not expecting it. I think he's got a lot of utility. I don't think that like a 7 is an unreasonable rating for him based on not being too difficult to build and the amount of utility you can get out of him for the amount of time you can get it out of him. I think he's bringing a decent bit to most fights. So I think 7.5 is actually not unreasonable for him. Pretty solid little champ. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for Slayer. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments on him, and drop them in the comments below. If you think he's better or worse, or again, if I missed something and there's information you want to contribute, that's always welcome. I do hope it was helpful. If you want to try to catch me on Twitch, I stream. It's at twitch.tv/JGigs. And that'll do it. I hope it was helpful. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.